What's going on today, people? My name is Tune, and this is Y.B.E.T.V. Today, I want to get into some of the tips that I want to pass off on how to pass your CDL test. Now, as far as the written portion and the driving portion, I could give you a few tips on that, but the biggest tip I want to give to people is for your pre-trip test. For the people that's not familiar with the procedure to get your CDL, you have a written test where you're gonna have to take combination vehicles, air brakes, general knowledge. Those three tests, or you might have to take another test. It depends, like the regular driving test as far as written. If I don't know what the stipulations is, it's in certain states, so we won't get into that. But the other three things, you have to take those, and then when you finish that portion, you will move on to after you get your permit for passing the written test, you'll move on to do the driving portion. And before you complete the driving portion, you have to go through a pre-trip. Now, for the people that's not familiar with it and they thinking about getting a CDL and they kind of trying to figure out the procedure to getting it, what a pre-trip is basically you need to learn the parts on your truck, like drag link and drive shaft, and you need to learn all the components on the truck, the air compressor, like it's different parts of a truck. When you raise up that hood, you need to damn near be able to name every part somebody can point to. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to know what those parts are. And, a pre-trip means that basically you're going to inspect the truck for at least 15 minutes, the tractor and the trailer, the airlines and everything, the lights. And usually it's in it's done in a sequence is the word I was looking for. It's like a sequence. First you start at the front of the truck, you look at the lights, you check the lights, the top lights, which is the clearance lights that's on the top of the truck, the other lights, then you check under the bottom to make sure there's no liquids under there, to make sure you ain't got no leaks. Now you start from there, then you go to the side of the truck, you pop the hood, go to the side, you go on the inside of it, and you start to point out different things. Now, a lot of people get flustered. A lot of people forget portions and parts of it. And the best way that I learned how to do this, I found the cheat code that worked for me. I don't know how I came up with it, but to me it was brilliant. What I did was took my cell phone. I had an iPhone. It was when I got my, I think the iPhone 4 was out when I got my CDL. The iPhone 4 or the 3G was out. And what I did was, I started in sequence, and I took pictures. Snap. I took a picture of the clearance lights. I took a picture of the regular lights. I took a picture of under the truck. Then I went in sequence, and my instructor pointed out each part of the pre-trip. Like, okay, you need to talk about this. I was snap. What's that? And then what you need to talk about this. Snap. You need to talk about this. So when I got back to my hotel room, everybody was studying, and when they finished studying, they was done. But what I did was, I wanted to get that pre-trip because I was stumbling on it. So what I did was, I took the pictures, and I was like, oh, okay, clearance lights working. High beams, low beams. Check for leaks under the truck. And I started doing it. And I go to the bathroom. I'd be on the fucking toilet taking a crap, bro. And I would be on there pre-tripping. So by the time when I went and took the test, I had about photographic memory and sequence because I took the pictures in sequence. So that was one of the ways that I used the pre-trip. You can definitely do that. And it will work wonders. Just about repetition. And the next thing that I wanted to say is, as far as the driving portion, this right here is a B.E.T.V bottle. I wouldn't say use a B.E.T.V bottle because while you're in school learning, you're not allowed to drink usually. What I did was, my friend, his name was Big Dog, find out what is the pattern of the gear shift that you got on the truck. Let's say if you testing and you got a 10 speed, or you got a 13 speed. 13 speed just with the clicker. Without the clicker, you wouldn't be a 13. It would be a 9 speed. Learn the gear shift pattern and just play with it. Grab you a bottle, an empty bottle, and just play with it. Like 1 up, 2, 3, 4, clip, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get what I'm saying? So you can always do that just to learn the gear pattern so you'll be used to it. Just unconsciously. Just sit down on your couch or whatever and do your gear shift. Like, because I know the 10 speed, I think, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So whichever the pattern of the truck that you're going to be testing in, play with it. Learn the pattern so you'll be used to it. To a point where you just throw out a number. 6. I know where my 6 at. Right there. You know what I'm saying? No, 6 right there. See? I messed up. 7, 3, 2. I'm telling you. It might seem stupid, but I swear to God, these little tips and tricks will help you pass this test. And last but not least, on the written portion of the test, pay attention to the questions and just test yourself. Call your girlfriend and say little different things that will help you remember it. Little keywords, when they talking about the air brakes and the, combination vehicles, and you talking about general knowledge. Just go over the information, pay attention to the questions, and keep on drilling it and drilling it and drilling it. And before you take the test, you go sit in that lobby and you go over whatever test you're about to take. Because it's in portions. Let me give you that. It's in portions. Like the first test you're going to take, I think, is general knowledge. You go and you take general knowledge. So that means that you take your general knowledge, your notes and everything that you've been studying, you go over it for about 10 minutes. Then you go take that test. And then when it's time for the next one, they say, can we start the next one? No, wait. Before I take air brakes, let me go study. Take about 10 minutes. Go over all your keys, air brakes. Go take the test. You pass it. Same thing with combination vehicles. And I'm telling you, if you do this the way I'm telling you, you might win, lose, or draw here or there, but in the end, you're going to knock that test out the park. Only thing that's going to be able to stop you now is you being nervous. And I ain't got no tip for you being nervous. That's all I got to say. I hope that those tips helpful for all my guys out there that's new to the CDL world and you trying to get your CDL, man. Take them tips, run with them, do what you need to do, and I promise you, man, just give me a shout out when you make $1 million and you got about 20 trucks on the road. Much love. If you don't want to end up in a box, think outside of it. YBE.
Drug dealing and killing is going on in my town. It don't take a killer to kill or a driller to drill. See, just being yourself is the definition of real.